What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We out here about to take a look at the band called, let's see, what was it called again? Second Grave. I got confused because I had Second Grave and Black in the Sky here. And it's a song called 17 Days, okay? Now, this is a Patreon request from one of my Patreons. And he was telling me, because I done a reaction to the band Benthic Realm, right? And he's telling me that this was Krista Von Gilder's previous band before she moved over to Benthic Realm, okay? And it also warned me that the lyrics that are online are contained with errors, so I'm going to check out the lyrics that he's provided me while we listening along. So let's go ahead and shut up and turn it up. Okay, so let's just talk about the beginning just for a second. So the very beginning, it had that little grunge. It was like, now, like you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, just go back and rewind. But it was like, now, what was interesting about that is that when that sound came, I was expecting it to go a little bit longer, but it abruptly stopped, right? And that immediately caught my interest. When you're doing intros, right, I feel like if somebody's listening to you first time, you got like 30 seconds to impress them before they switch over to the next song. But that right there, that was just enough to make me wonder and be like, yo, okay, what's going on here? And then the guitar tone almost kind of gave you more of the type of tone that you would hear in like power metal, you know, the type of tone, and that just easily translated and transisted into like these wonderful vocals, man. And their vocals are like almost howling, like you're singing with a really, really big open throat. I can imagine you sitting there on the mic like, you know what I'm saying, to give that haunting voice. Diving into the lyrics, I don't have enough yet, so I might not dive too much into it, but Cracks Appear structure gives away. Already I'm sitting here thinking about maybe they're talking about maybe this is like a reflection of oneself, right? Cracks appear like cracks. You are the structure that's giving away and it's collapsing around and falling at your feet. Of course, when he says the air quickly heats, getting hard to breathe, so it's this, as almost you're succumbing to like your emotions or anything, or something like that. A lot of this kind of seems like it's like face value without any type of hidden meaning, but I could be wrong, right? For 17 days, I contemplate like what, you know what I'm saying? But we still got some more to go into, so let's go and continue.
We so say
Okay, we got a guitar low coming, right? Because musical structure usually it comes after the second verse, and after you got your verse, you got your chorus, you got your verse, chorus, and then usually there's a guitar low coming, so we know that's coming. So yeah, with the second part of the lyrics, it's giving me some more ideas that it is a reflection upon oneself. Darkness descends, I am alone. Right now, I'm kind of tying this to maybe it possibly being like emotion. Like for instance, imagine if you were like suicidal, you know what I mean? Like darkness descends, you are alone, right? Because it's starting to creep down on you, and a fear never be found. I take that as if it's possible that nobody can see the type of things that you're going through. Like nobody, you can never be found. Imagine if you was reaching out trying to reach for help, but a lot of people can't see the pain that you're in, so therefore you'll never be found. That's what I'm getting with that one. Resource grows scarce, looking for help, you know what I mean? And then daylight eludes me, so you're not you losing the will to live, right? And as I say that, that's the next line in the lyrics. So one thing that I liked about that last part, I'm losing the will to live, is just the elongate of the losing the will to live, right? That kind of drives home that emotion, losing the will to live. And then right before we go into the chorus, we kind of get that rough up, like to kind of further reinforce after holding that long note that there's some tough stuff happening, you know what I mean? And then we jump straight into the chorus. So very interesting pace, man. Okay, I think it's guitar low time. Sounds of sorrow, like wailing. So that was a very interesting guitar solo, right? So it's almost like it just completely shifted like moods, right? We sitting there, like from what I understand, and we sitting there talking about somebody who's like really sad, like I said, darkness is creeping up on you, losing the will to live. Sometimes when somebody is, for say like suicidal or something like that, or going through some really, really deep emotions, it isn't something that just happens immediately, right? It's progressive, right? And that's what we got in this solo. It was progressive. They started off with a couple of like some quarter notes, some half notes, some whole notes, before they went straight into kind of like eighth notes, and they really start jamming in. This is the type of stuff that I usually see because when I play saxophone and when I'm playing jazz, when you start soloing, and towards the end of your improv, right, that's when you really start jamming in to kind of leave that last note. You know what I'm saying? Like leave that last impression. So that's what I got with that solo. That towards that end, it was like leaving a last impression. And then it followed when it get right back into the heavy. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm sitting here telling you my sad story and everything. Then I start crying. And then I say, this is it. And then, whoosh, you know what I'm saying? That's what I got from that solo. So that was interesting pacing. Interesting pacing. I love when music tells the story. Heaviness. then with the abrupt stop, right? Line and wait. Okay, so the end of that, the drumming, right? It almost kind of had like a military kind of cadence to it, only because of the sound and the reverb of the snare. It sounded like they were just sitting there like the drummer boys just sitting there on the snare, and almost kind of like a marching cadence and everything. Kind of like the time ticking down. You know, you ever watch like one of them like in a marching band when they're doing their cadences, and then right before they start playing, sometimes they'll do like a drum up right before the climax. That's what that kind of reminded me of, like a drumming up to the climax. Sometimes I don't know what I be saying, man. I just be talking, just trying to express what I'm feeling. I could be completely wrong. Now, the last part of that verse really put a lot of things in perspective for me. It completely changed what I thought this song was about, right? So I'm sitting here looking at the lyrics, and it says, recovering the dead, the numbers grow high, power, money, greed. So now I'm sitting here thinking maybe something like government or like military or something like that, building empires on the back of the weak. Now, what was the most interesting thing about here that says influence their technique, right? Because what I get from that right there is influence their technique is if you see something that's working, right? Let's say, you know, all the people who getting all this money and everything, and you look at their morals and how they got their money and their power and their greed. If you weren't in that situation, you would, if you weren't in that situation, you would look down upon them, right? But let's say that you did get all that money and power and greed. Then all of a sudden you're using the same techniques and building empires on the back of the weak. So I like to think of that influence their technique. Untouchable by the weak. Most people are just sitting there just judging you, but they don't have the power, they don't have the resources, right? Like they said up in the beginning, resources are what did it say? Let's go back. Let's see, resources grow scarce. So untouchable by the weak. They have all the power, they have all the money, they have all the greed, so you can't really do much about it. But the only thing that's eluding me right now is the for 17 days. I'm not really too sure for 17 days. I don't know if that's just a random number or if it has like a hidden meaning, but I'm pretty sure you guys will let me know down in the comments. And also let me know what you guys thought about this song. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.